Come on, you guys, let's go. Obviously, I can't be too loud with the celebration. I got some complaints after the last match reviews, so I need to try and keep things a bit more mellower today. But my friends, again, it's worth losing sleep for this pre-season. A 4-3 win, 9 goals in 2 games? When did we ever become synonymous with goals? Like, how is Pochettino changing so many things up so quickly and so soon? And it's actually beautiful to see because the players seem very willing to, follow his ideas, get used to his methods, and they seem to enjoy playing this style of football. I've got a ton of things to discuss today, of course. I'll be discussing Nico goddamn Jackson. This is a Chelsea striker, yeah? I'll be speaking about this Donny later on, but obviously I have to discuss some of the tactical things we learned today. We got to obviously embrace the fact that having a man advantage obviously helps us in this game. Brighton caused us some issues when the game was, 11 versus 11. But my friends, tons more positives to focus on compared to negatives. So I hope you guys are really enjoying this pre-season. If you like the performances, if you're getting excited for next season, hit that like button. Let's go crazy with it today, yeah? And to start with the first thing, I want to discuss just some key tactical observations first. I mean, this is a very interesting game. It did kind of seem like the strategy on our end was to try and keep our shape when we could. We weren't forcing the press. We pressed high when we had to, but we were more than fine to revert back to a mid-block or even sit a bit deeper. I think this really helped us in terms of creating so much transitional threat against Brighton. We had tons of counter-attacking opportunities, and that was very exciting to see. And when you see the speed of these counter-attacks, the combo play, the amount of support runs at the same time. I mean, let's not forget that for over 18 months, we hadn't even scored a counter-attacking goal. Do you understand just how phenomenally different our old style of play was compared to this new style of play? It's crazy. And to add to the positivity here, one thing I really love about Pochettino is how his teams move up the lines. What I mean by that is that when someone's on the ball, he normally has 2 options around him. And we're constantly seeing 1-2s and give and goes and tons of combo plays that you don't tend to see. And for me, top teams have to show this stuff, man. If you're breaking down compact defenses, your footballing ability, the footballing ability that made us fork out the millions that we spent to bring here in the first place, that has to show. And before, I was only seeing system shining compared to what the actual players are bringing to the system. But I like this balance that Pochettino's found. This is the way to play football. Constant movement. There's always an option to even play the unorthodox pass as well too. You're seeing tons of underlapping runs, overlaps from the fullbacks. I mean, Ben Shaw is enjoying his football right now, constantly just taking advantage of that engine that he has. And it then gets me thinking even deeper about, okay, this is why we're signing certain profiles here. We're signing a lot of players that are comfortable receiving under pressure, a lot of players that have footwork. And for me, if you have these types of players, on top of the fact that these guys are so comfortable playing across different positions and different zones, constantly interchanging when they have to, the benefit behind this is that you don't lose the ball. You're a lot more confident playing because you have guys who are confident receiving in multiple areas of the field. And for me, this is the type of football I've wanted to see for a long time. You guys, I'm a little bit of a purist when it comes to my football. I like seeing football like this. But of course, as we've seen from the scoreline, we are going to concede some goals, it seems like. Obviously, I think the most disappointing goal was the third goal we conceded. I thought Colwell's penalty he gave away was a bit sloppy, but it's his first game back. Obviously, he's not fully match fit. He's joined up quite late. But for me, it's the main thing about how Brighton tended to have a lot of threat, especially down that left-hand side, where we couldn't get Gusto or Sterling really up the field that much. We was relying upon Ben Chilwell to make those overlaps to obviously try and force the attack. I just felt like at times, Brighton were able to find the half spaces time and time again, and they were taking it on the field with one pass. And I kind of feel like we have to get a lot better at making sure that we close the spaces down, that the pressing structure is on point, because it's nice playing this type of way, but I don't want to be going into every game thinking we have to score 4 because we might concede 3. These are the details that have to be worked upon, and of course set piece routines too. I kind of feel like from the first game against Wrexham, I was like, okay, we're looking not as confident from defending these situations. Listen, Brighton scored a phenomenal set piece from their routine. It was very good. But I kind of feel like I see the same weakness affecting us this season. And I'm curious to see what Pochettino can do to minimize these set-piece threats against us. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the football. But let's talk about some of these performances now. I just have to talk about Nicolas Jackson, yeah? As I said at the start of this video, this guy for me is a Chelsea striker to a T. For me, Chelsea strikers have been successful. Your Drogbas, your Anelkas, your Costas, they were more than just the forwards. It wasn't solely about their goal threat or their movement. They were an outlet for the team. They could fashion opportunities for themselves and have those match-winning moments. They could combine beautifully on the counter-attack. You know, when the game is like very congested and you're playing against a team that's parking the bus, they're effective in all passages of the game. And I kind of feel like this deal for Nicolas Jackson, this could be a masterstroke in the making. I mean, for this price, it's an absolute bargain. And we're seeing this guy's quality, you know, with our own two eyes, yeah? And for me, he is testament to this new transfer strategy that we're seeing from the club right now about signing the next big thing before anyone else spots them. We always knew that it would be very difficult signing an elite striker because we're going to get priced out. So it was all about finding the next guy that complements and suits the needs of the team. And my God, does Nicolas Jackson do that, man? I mean, come on, in less than 90 minutes, 1 goal and 3 assists over 2 games. And the way he came on and single-handedly changed this game. Wow. I mean, what I love is just the close control and take like these La Liga strikers. They just raise a bit differently in terms of the needs that La Liga teams need when they're playing them. And just like looking at the assists he made, I mean, number one, that goal with Mudryk, the combo play, they combined twice in that same move. And that little layoff pass in the end just set up Mudryk perfectly to hit that on the half volley. Super goal. And that second goal too, you know what I loved about it? It was the improvisation and thinking. Because most players, after receiving that pass from Casede, they are forcing the shot. And I'm looking at you, Raheem Sterling, you were forcing it a lot of times here. But Jackson had that self-awareness to realise this is my teammates on the left-hand side. As long as I can steer the ball to him somehow, we're good. Because he's comfortable, of course, playing in them tight spaces. And you create opportunities that you normally wouldn't be able to create. The only thing I need to see now is Nico and Nkunku playing together. That's the final thing. And then I think it's going to get really fun. I think one player that is definitely worth a mention is Levi Cole. Obviously his first game of pre-season, I was surprised that he started. I thought he might come on as a sub. But I think when he was fitter in the first half, we saw exactly what this guy's about to bring to this team. I mean, that first goal, the equaliser, I mean, that was a brilliantly improvised finish from Nkunku. But that move literally came from Levi Cole stepping up the field and playing that beautiful pass against the run of play, which literally took out like 3 or 4 Brighton players. And we literally kickstart that attack from nothing. And then Ben's overlapping. The sick combo play between Maatsen and Chukwuemeka. And of course, that beautifully improvised finish from Nkunku. This is the power that Cole can bring to this team, yeah? Those types of passes, he opens up the field. He finds guys where most players can't find them. He demonstrated some beautiful passing technique as well too, especially some of these balls over the top to try and find Maatsen or Ben down that left-hand side. I mean, once this guy just gets a bit more experience, naturally as he gets older, but most importantly, when he's fit, when he's fully match fit, wow. I think Levi Cole is going to be absolutely clear. And just a small little taster and glimpse of what he can bring to a Pochettino attack that has constant movement in behind, players that have pace to exploit as well too, plus a positive ethos in general. So yeah, Levi Cole looked very promising. Some sloppy moments near the end, not really bothering me too much. He ain't fully match fit, but the positives are what this guy's doing with the ball. And of course, another performance that really stood out was Mudryk. Now, I've been saying for a while, with our old way of playing, it didn't really encourage our wingers to get 1v1 against their man because there was no spaces. I mean, most of the times, you know, it's the wing back or fullback that's receiving high out wides in that 1v1 area, and then the winger is in the channel. Like, how are you going to take advantage of a winger's game if he ain't going to be in the wide position to take advantage? It's the silly things like that over the seasons that really get on my nerves. But we have a pro attacking manager right now, and I think Mudryk's going to really benefit from this because like, how often have we even got to see this guy's pace really, and him really taking advantage of it in games? There was that one moment in this game where he's the only player on that field who's able to, you know, actually catch up to that ball when he hits it in front of him and just speed boost, turbo boost in front. I mean, come on. No one else can do that. And this type of pacing add a new dimension to this team, especially on the counter-attack. That's the exciting thing. Like, this was the Mudryk performance I was seeing at Shakhtar, where let this guy cut inside, give him combo options in terms of guys to lay off passes to, 1-2s with, and find him isolated against his man, because most people aren't going to catch up with this guy. He took his goal phenomenally well, and this is what Mudryk can do, and I'm really excited now to see what he brings this season, because yeah, this was a very positive performance from him down that left hand side. Hopefully he starts the next game like literally from the start. And to end things, I feel like a few players can hold their heads high. I think Conor Gallagher, I think like his battling spirit in midfield definitely does help. A few times he didn't win his challenges all the time. I think Casado just, takes us up another level for sure. But in terms of that balance, it's the second goal we scored, box threat he brings. I feel like we've got so used to midfield players that only keep balls on the ground, tally up possession stats and passing metrics and all that good stuff. We forget that a midfielder is more than just those small aspects of the game. And I think that Gallagher is a very well-balanced player that typifies that, and I think he can definitely improve in every factor of his game. But the thing is, there aren't too many things that he's like absolutely weak in. He can only just fine-tune what he already has. I mean, that engine, the progressive passes he's constantly receiving because he's getting himself in these areas, man. He is that guy that's always ready to make a run, create that 1-2 option, and of course speed the tempo of the game. In a team game, you need guys like this because they can help your team tick, because they make the runs do some of the dirty work that others don't necessarily do. So we can't take this guy for granted. He is a good player, and I think he gets some unfair sticks sometimes. And of course, quick shout out to Angelo Gabriel. I mean, bro, I know some of you guys saw my reaction video on him. The guy's footwork, it's like his boot is glitching. That's how, like, he's just constantly on the move. You don't really predict where he's gonna go next. The balance, the poise, obviously the passing ability in behind as well too. Like, this guy has some playmaking aspects to his game, and just that close control and this overall elegance. Very promising player. It does get you thinking, should you not be remaining here with us? Maybe not. But if you're a Strasbourg fan, listen, you appreciate this guy that you're going to have him for a season courtesy of us, yeah, because I'm looking forward to this kid coming back and doing things, because there's been a Robin-sized hole in my heart ever since he got sold in like 2005, 2006, and that's probably the most upset in my entire life I've been of a player leaving us. And that unique aspect is what Robin used to bring. I feel like Gabriel, in his own way, in his own natural rights, he's given me some of that feeling, bro. He's just giving me some of that feeling. So another top signing, and yeah, another great performance in general. Obviously a lot of positives to take forward, but obviously realistic factors like Brighton going down to 10 men. Of course our defending was a bit sloppy at times too, but this is only our second game under Pochettino. He's going to need at least 10 more games, 15 in general, to get this team really fine-tuned. But the signs we're seeing right now, pro-attacking football, bro, I'm pretty here for it. And I feel like this season is going to be an exciting one. So my friends, share your thoughts and opinions. I'm Nicolas FC, this is BlueLionsTV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.